book of Galatians chapter 2 tonight for a few minutes on the subject of live for Jesus. Galatians chapter 2, verse 20. That was what we used as a text last week when we started this, and I'm excited. When I preached this a few weeks ago, I just triggered something in my spirit, and I felt it was important that we revisit this and talk about the subject of living for Jesus in more detail. I think some people have a different idea of what it means to live for Jesus. I did get a little feedback from you last week. I know everybody was shy, but I know you all have your feelings and your opinion and maybe your belief about what it means to live for Jesus, but I don't think God would robe himself in flesh and come to this earth and call a church out of this world and then let us decide for ourselves how we live for him. I tell you how I know that, because when he called Israel out of Egypt, he told them how to live. I mean, literally, told them how to live. He told them how to eat. He told them what not to eat. He told them how to live their lives, how to go about their day, and how to treat each other, and how to deal with problems, and that's where the commandments came from, and that's where the law came from. God said, if you're going to be my people, then I'm going to tell you what I expect of you. And I don't know why it is in this modern day that Christians and religions, Christian religions even, will say that to have some types of guidelines or rules or do's and don'ts, that's all some kind of legalism. That's not. The Bible is replete with instruction. I mean, really, the greater portion of the Bible is telling us how to live. And so how is it that somebody says you just get saved and then you live the way you want? I can't believe that. I can't agree with that. And I don't think that Jesus teaches that. And I'm going to prove that to you with the Bible tonight. But let's return to this text and read it and get us back on track. Galatians chapter 2, verse 20. And Paul says, I am crucified with Christ. I'm crucified with Christ. And that means exactly what it says. Jesus was crucified on the cross. He gave his all. He didn't risk his life at Calvary. He gave his life at Calvary. And some people are willing to risk their life to be a Christian. But that's not enough. You got to give your life. You got to be crucified with Christ. In fact, there's scriptures that support the idea that when we are buried with him, we will also rise with him in a resurrection, right? The Bible tells us that we're buried in baptism. We rise with the baptism of the Holy Ghost in resurrection power. Nevertheless, I live. So I'm crucified with Christ. Nevertheless, I live. Yet not I, but Christ lives in me, and the life which I now live in the flesh, this worldly experience, this living this life, I live by faith of the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. We linked this last week to Romans chapter 12, when Paul says, I beseech you, brethren, therefore, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. It's something that God asks you to do that is not unreasonable. Now, I've had people through the years that when we preach and teach and we talk about holiness and we talk about righteous living, when we talk about, and I believe in standards of Christian conduct. I believe in them. Somebody says, oh, no, I don't know why they start talking some kind of foreign language when you, but I believe in this, and it's because God knows we need guidelines to live. He realizes that, and when he called a people out, he gave Israel guidelines. He's given the church guidelines. And, one of the most important of those is that we come out from among them and be separate, just like Israel. Come out of there. Come out of Egypt. Egypt was a type of sin. They really shouldn't have stayed there that long anyhow. That's where the problem came. They never would have become enslaved if they wouldn't have overstayed their welcome. They were supposed to sojourn, which means just a passing through, just, for the moment. In fact, many times in the Old Testament, God would tell people, don't go to Egypt for help. Don't go to Egypt for help. And many times, yet here we are today in this world, and we know the world is a type of Egypt. We go to the world for help. And God said, don't do that. You need to come out from there and be separate, saith the Lord. And the idea that we present our bodies a living sacrifice connects with